Welcome, fellow artists, to Lyricology 101. I still don't got my channel back yet, but we back again with another personal bar for bar breakdown with my man Jimmy Darko. Google Jimmy Darko if you can. I covered Jimmy Darko before. Really interesting style, very unique perspective. Dude's got flows down. So this track Percy, I really like where he's going with it. He just has a new way to accent these flows and these syllables, man. So this shit's gonna be really fun. Hope you guys are doing good. If you guys are interested in getting your song broken down in a similar fashion, hit me up at lyricology101mail@gmail.com and I'll get to you as soon as possible, or hit your boy on Instagram at lyricology101. But enough talking, man. Let's get the ball rolling. Percy, let's roll. Bam.
I can't stand it. More commas, I can't stand it. More commas, I can't stand it.
Yeah. Yo, Demigod when I'm stepping out, and the whip got my father's sigil. Earn my stripes on it with the team. I somehow feel like a ref official.
All right, so we got to get down to this idea. You see gray, that's a flow. You see color, that's a rhyme. All right, flows are really important, guys. So pay attention. Whip got my father's sigil. Feel like a ref official, right? So whip got my father's sigil. That's 6 or 7 syllables, and they're all combined, but they're not rhymed, all right? Sigil and official rhyme, right? The end rhyme is sigil and official, but the flow, the brackets of words and the syllables that he put together, that's what you're getting, right? So whip got my father's sigil. Feel like a ref official, right? All of it is combined. It sounds great. We got a lot of internals with the I sound, of course, because it is easy to rhyme, but he's got the ah sound in the beginning that's really noticeable. So demigod when I'm stepping out, and the whip got my father's sigil, right? So demigod when I'm stepping out, right? And he bends out in a way to match with God and match with God and my and father. So he's bending the words so damn hard that they all connect. So demigod when I'm stepping out, and the whip got my father's sigil. Earn my stripes running with the team. I somehow feel like a ref official. And then he's going to change the flow up into some other shit. Coincidental, and then it's going to be dope. You'll hear it.
Coincidental, they pressing the issue. I'm pressing my clothes for into the press room.
Coincidental with pressing the issue. I'm pressing my folks for into the press room, right? So that's 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Coincidental, pressing the issue. I'm pressing my clothes for I entered the press room, right? And then he's going to switch the flow again for where Jimmy choose, but it's still on that 5-syllable swing. So catch this.
Like a ref official. Coincidental, they pressing the issue. I'm pressing my clothes for into the press room. It's true. I make decisions and where Jimmy choose and make a dream work while I sit on the moon.
All right, so yeah. Where Jimmy choose and into the press room and where Jimmy choose. Sorry, those are different flows. So where Jimmy choose and sit on the moon are different flows. But he does this interesting flow break right here with it's true, right? So coincidental, they pressing the issue. I'm pressing my clothes for I enter the press room. It's true, right? So he like breaks the bar a little bit, and then I make decisions and where Jimmy choose and make the dream work while I sit on the moon. Very smooth. I love how he's accenting and spacing out the rhymes, bro. This shit is hard to do when you gotta like flow like this. So really good shit. But what's my man saying though?
Yo, demigod when I'm stepping out, and the whip got my father's sigil.
All right, so demigod when I'm stepping out, and the whip got my father's sigil. So if he's a demigod, I looked at the demigod and connected it to the father, right? So demigod when I'm stepping out, he's coming out of his car, and the whip could represent his car or who he is as an individual, right? So the whip got my father's sigil, which would be God's sigil or God's image. And the sigil could be a sign, potentially a cross. He could be wearing a cross on the car, or he could have like a Mason symbol on the car if you've seen those before. So demigod when I'm stepping out, and the whip got my father's sigil or my God's sigil, right? Earn my stripes running with the team, and I somehow feel like a ref official, right? And he even does like a production technique to make the bar stand out. So I'm gonna run this line right now.
Earn my stripes running with the team. I somehow feel like a ref official.
All right, so earn my stripes. So referees wear striped shirts. Running with the team, refs run with the team, and I feel like a ref official, right? Good shit.
A ref official. Coincidental, they pressing the issue. I'm pressing my clothes for into the press room.
All right, so we got 3 plays on press, right? So coincidental, right? After he did the feel like a ref official, now we're still in the mindset of a game, right? So I was thinking basketball or something. Coincidental, they pressing the issue. I'm pressing my clothes before I enter the press room, right? So this is fresh off the game, or he's still referencing himself as a referee. So 3 plays on press, pressing the issue, right? Or pressing his clothes, ironing his clothes out, or pressing as in putting pressure on you, but the press room as in actual press, right? So 3 plays on that is true. I make decisions and where Jimmy choose, right? So if he's still referencing himself as a ref or being a high player in the game, he makes the decisions and he wears the best of shoes, right? Jimmy choose are great shoes, but I also saw the play that there's J and C in the name. So JC connected Jesus Christ in my head, brought it all the way back up to the first line with Demigod and the whip has my father's sigil. So my man doing some shit, man.
Pressing my clothes far into the press room is true. I make decisions and where Jimmy choose and make a dream work while I sit on the moon.
I like that. And make the dream work while I sit on the moon, right? So I make decisions and where Jimmy choose and make a dream work while I sit on the moon. So my idea is simple. The simple generalized concept is he makes the dream work, right? As far as him being the highest representative. But if he was using that Jesus Christ play and the demigod play, he makes the dream work. We're inside of his dream, right? While I sit on the moon. If he's sitting on the moon, then he's on his highest peak.
True. I make decisions and where Jimmy choose and make a dream work while I sit on the moon. Not really fair, they don't really get it. Swam with the sharks and my brothers and bitches. 2 arms out the window, just one in appendage. Potentially unorthodox.
All right, so I like this flow, man. Not really fair, don't really get it. To swim with the sharks for my brothers and bitches. I think brothers and sisters in my head. 2 arms out the window, just one in appendage, right? So don't really get it. That's a 5-syllable swing, right? The end rhyme is the it sound, the it sound. Get it? Bitches, appendage, with the all these individual internals here and there, but the flow is nice. Don't really get it. Swam with the sharks for brothers and bitches, arms out the window, one in appendage. All of it is connected and it just sounds butter. And then the rhymes kind of glue it together. And then he does something very interesting at the end of the bar where he just breaks it to pieces and goes potentially unorthodox, and then he slides into a whole new flow.
Unorthodox, in appendage, potentially unorthodox, alligator skin. Ain't no croc, put 100K up inside the box. I saw the wall, they moved around a lot, they salty, I get it.
All right, so potentially unorthodox is an unorthodox timing and pattern and flow, which I feel like he did deliberately, right? And then he's gonna go on this 3-syllable swing though, right? Unorthodox, alligator skin, ain't no croc, put 100K up inside the box, excuse me. I saw the wall, then moved around a lot, right? So that 3-syllable anchor is there, and he's just kind of like dancing around it. But then he's got crazy internals here. So potentially unorthodox alligator skin, right? So he's like bending the hell out of these words, right? Alligator skin, ain't no croc, right? So potentially unorthodox alligator skin, ain't no croc, put 100K up inside the box, right? Just going crazy with that sound, the pink. And then he just throws in a quick little internal with, I saw the wall and moved around a lot, right? They salty, I get it. And then when he lands back on get it, it's really the rhyme that he initially started with, right? So he like kind of played around. I wouldn't call that a stunt. It's not a stunt to me, but I do feel like he was playing with the sound and he brought it right back. But what's my man saying though?
Not really fair, they don't really get it. Swam with the sharks and my brothers and bitches.
All right, so not really fair. They don't really get it, right? It's not fair and they're not going to receive it. Swam with the sharks for my brothers and bitches, right? So handled the business for his people. 2 arms out the window, just one in appendage. I think that's just a great line, right? So 2 arms out the window, you're thinking both of his arms being extended. No, his arm is out holding another arm, which would be a gun, right? So 2 arms out the window, just one's an appendage, which would be a limb, right? Very creative, man. Potentially unorthodox. And I think the potentially unorthodox is aligned with the appendage line. Real smooth stuff, man.
Walks my brothers and bitches, 2 arms out the window, just one in appendage. Potentially unorthodox, alligator skin. Ain't no croc, put 100K up inside the box. I saw the wall, they moved around a lot, they salty, I get it.
All right, so alligator skin, ain't no croc. Right, so of course he got alligator skin shoes. He's not gonna be rocking no Crocs, no cheap shoes, right? So alligator skins, but it ain't no croc. Put 100K inside the box, which is why they're in the same family. He got bread, so he ain't gonna have no cheap shoes. I saw the wall that moved around a lot. So I thought he was saying like he saw a wall and saw it as a lot to move around. And then they salty, I get it. So they're salty because he got out of there. He handled it.
Inside the box, I saw the wall, they moved around a lot, they salty, I get it.
That's Pepsi, it's different. My image, no figments, more commas, I can't stand it. That's Pepsi, it's different. More commas, I can't stand it.
All right, so look, that's it. That's kind of like, that's the hook there, right? So that's Pepsi. This different, right? And my concept of Pepsi was I always looked at the back and forth of Coke versus Pepsi. Coke is an all red product. The brand is all red, whereas Pepsi unifies red, white, and blue. So I always thought that was like a concept. So Pepsi, even brand wise and visually, grabs a piece of everything compared to Coke being just one solid thing, which is just a red can. Pepsi to me unifies all the colors. So that's Pepsi. This different. And maybe Coke would represent pop in some context. So Pepsi would represent kind of an underground or other side version of it. So that's Pepsi, this different, my image, no figments. So he's not imagination, he's not fake, he's a real dude. More commas, I can't spend it. And then he goes back into this loop, right? But once he runs this loop, he starts the loop. I don't know what he did with the hook, but he did that's peppy, this different. Then he removed my image, no figments for the second part. And then after that, he just rolls into like a bridge that connects to the next verse. So let's go.
Different, more commas, I can't stand it.
It's crack, ain't he fixing it's nothing. I can end a life with the push of a button, loaning out weight, only time that I'm fronting.
All right, so yeah, so that's like the bridge into the verse. And then the verse technically starts at got 12 plus 1, to my understanding, at least in the beat. But anyway, my man is doing something though. Fixing is nothing, push of a button, time that I'm fronting. So that's 5. That's a 5-syllable swing. The main rhyme we got is nothing, button, fronting, dozen, something, and muffin, right? The internals is looking nice with the is sound, of course. Fixing it's nothing. I could end a life with a push of a button. Loaning our way the only time that I'm fronting, right? So he's matching life with time and I'm. So loaning our weight only time that I'm fronting. Then got 12 plus 2 baker's dozen, right? And bake is gonna align with weight, but the way he does this flow is really interesting. It's like this is a whole new family of rhymes we're about to roll into with the internals and stuff, but we're still anchored on the main rhyme. So he's just doing this back and forth with it. So he introduces the weight rhyme before we even use the shit, which is really cool. So run it back, man. I want to hear the whole flow.
It's crack, ain't he fixing it's nothing. I can end a life with the push of a button, loaning out weight, only time that I'm fronting. Got 12 plus 1, fake a dozen. Wanna test my drive, I could teach you something. Turn 2 to 4 like an egg McMuffin. Look.
All right, so got 12 plus 1, baker's dozen, right? So he's still matching the weight sound, but the 12 plus 1 and test my drive is like a 3-syllable swing. It's not the main flow. Baker's dozen and teach you something, egg McMuffin. That's a 4-syllable swing at the end, and that's what he's anchored. Everything is anchored to this, right? Baker's dozen, teach you something, egg McMuffin, right? But he does this like pre-flow, right? So got 12 plus 1, baker's dozen, want to test my drive, I could teach you something, right? So these two are connected really well. Plus 1 and wanna, just a quick internal. And then he's gonna go with the I again, my drive, and then right back to the original rhyme. Really, really creative stuff, man. But what's my man saying, though? What are you talking about?
It's crack, ain't he fixing it's nothing. I can end a life with the push of a button.
Wait, hold up. It's crack, right? It's crack, right? The song itself is crack. It ain't need fixing is nothing, right? So the play he's throwing off is it's crack, like it's cracked, like it's broken, but it ain't need fixing. So it's not the crack that you think it is. It's the other crack, right? It's crack. It ain't need fixing or nothing, right? That whole idea is simply dope. I just like how he did that. I can end a life with a push of a button. That's just status shit. Loaning out weight the only time that I'm fronting. I like that too. That's pretty cool. So he ain't faking. He fronting on some bigger shit, right? Got 12 plus 1, baker's dozen, right? Okay, so the way I saw this line was there's 12 going against him, right? And he's going to bake a dozen rappers, leaving him being the last one. A baker's dozen is a dozen with an additional one. So him being the additional one is going to take out the whole dozen. Really dope. Got 12 plus 1, baker's dozen. So I thought that was him going against 12. Want to test my drive, I could teach you something, right? So test and teacher connected. And then we're going back to a food play, turn 2 to 4 like an egg McMuffin, right? So baker's dozen, I saw the muffin play. I thought he was maybe associating those things. But let's run that.
It's crack, ain't he fixing it's nothing. I can end a life with the push of a button, loaning out weight, only time that I'm fronting. Got 12 plus 1, fake a dozen. Wanna test my drive, I could teach you something. Turn 2 to 4 like an egg McMuffin. Look, I stay a factor like I'm in a function. Whole different language, they can't tell me nothing. Habit with immigrants, my rip is busting. Push ad-libs, any line discussing.
All right, so I like that one too, man. That's a 5. I stay a factor like I'm in the function. A whole different language, they can't tell me nothing. Abbott with immigrants, my rep is busting, right? That's a 5-syllable pattern, like an anchor, right? But the flow, the flow is that, but the rhyme is this: function, nothing, bussin', disgusting, right? So he's got the same 5-syllable swing flow for these initial 3 lines, and then for the last one, he's gonna kind of take a break and then switch the flow up. He's gonna go in another direction, right? And I like how he does this shit. So I stay the factor like I'm in the function, a whole different language, they can't tell me nothing. Abbott with immigrants, my rep is busting, right? Real smooth. And then he abandons that 5 and goes push ad-libs, man, these lines disgusting, right? I think it's a swag movie, he's just looking cool. So run this, man, run it back. I just want to hear the flow.
I stay a factor like I'm in a function, whole different language, they can't tell me nothing. Abbott with immigrants, my rep is busting, push ad-libs, any line disgusting.
All right, so We got a lot of play back and forth with the A and the I sound, right? Of course, the I sound is always going to be dominant. So in the function, a whole different language. They can't tell me nothing. Abid with immigrants. My rep is busting. Pushing ad libs. Man, these lines disgusting, right? Lots of use of the I. And then he's got the A at the initial, right? The stay, the language. They can't tell me nothing, right? And then we're going to go right back into that rhyme at the end for the next flow. You'll hear it.
They move in this water, they can't help but wave. Fresh to death, rose on the grave. The pistol can plate it, I got it engraved. My bullets got names, but I mean what you say.
All right, so yeah, going off of that A, the internals he was using earlier, he now has is the end rhyme, right? So stay moving this water, they can't help but wave. Fresh to death, rose on a grave. The pistol can't plate it, I got it engraved. My bullets got names, better watch what you say, right? Really smooth. I like how he does it. Can't help but wave is a 4-syllable swing, but it's a different kind of swing from what we initially had. So can't help but wave, rose on a grave, got it engraved, mean what you say. Real dope shit. Fresh to death, internal, real nice. And then we got the O sound with rose matching with pistol. I gave you that one. Rose on the grave, pistol. The way he bent pistol, he did that shit on purpose. Real nice, man. So what's my man Shane though? What you talking about?
Look, I stay affected like I'm in a function. Whole different language, they can't tell me nothing. Habit with immigrants, my rip is busting. Push ad-libs, any line disgusting.
All right, so look at this. I got to go to the whole different language one first. A whole different language, they can't tell me nothing, right? You can't even speak me. You can't speak to me in any fashion because I'm in a whole different lane, a whole different language entirely. No communication is going to come from you because you don't speak the language I speak, right? A whole different language, they can't tell me nothing. Abbott with immigrants, my rep is bussin', right? So he gave me the word Greg to inform me that he was talking about Greg Abbott, right? But the bigger picture is I would not have guessed Greg Abbott if you didn't put the word Greg in here, right? I actually was thinking Abbott Elementary before the show Abbott. I was thinking that. So Abbott with immigrants, my rep is bussin', right? I heard a whole different line. But then I saw Greg Abbott. I was like, oh, Greg Abbott, the fucking politician? Okay, sure. So his reputation is to bust immigrants. I got it. A whole different language goes into the immigrants play, which is really dope. I stay a factor like I'm in the function. I thought of computers, right? But I don't think that's what he's talking about. I think he's here. He's a factor like he's in the party, right? Push ad libs, man, these lines discussion, right? So I thought this line was clever because he's saying push ad libs, right? This next line he spits is an ad lib. Man, these lines discussing, right? He literally pushed an ad lib in your face. Thought that was clever. Real dope shit, man. Run it back.
I stay affected like I'm in a function. Whole different language, they can't tell me nothing. Habit with immigrants, my rip is busting. Push ad-libs, any line disgusting. Stay moving this water, they can't help but wave. Fresh to death, rose on the grave.
So yeah, stay moving this water, they can't help but wave, right? And he's talking about the flow, right? Fresh to death, rose on a grave, right? So of course, a rose being something fresh, and then grave, of course, is something that is affiliated with death. I love the combination. The pistol came plated. The pistol came plated. I got it engraved. My bullets got names. Better watch what you say, right? That sounds like some shit Wayne would say. I like how that sounds.
Rose on the grave. The pistol came plated. I got it engraved. My bullets got names. Better mean what you say. Taking the top of the pen, turn to a sword, and I'm cutting down snakes. Been a long time, been a long road, but I'm kicking down Hades gates. They can't escape. All
right, so this flow I got mad at, man. I couldn't find a way to bracket what you did here, so I didn't bracket nothing, man. I highlighted the lines. I really feel like he just wanted to say something, right? And he anchored on the snakes, gates, and then they can't escape. And then he goes into a flow. You know, he goes into something we're familiar with. My shit came with that beam, wearing Hermes, but I knock off his wings. I got that juice that they think I'm the thief. The lightness they poured it electrifying, right? So he's going to go right back into like an identifiable flow. But this right here, I just was like fighting this one. I was like, what is he doing? Taking the top off the pin, turn to a sword, and I'm cutting down snakes. Been a long time. Wait, I can't even do his flow. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry for fucking flow, man. Don't get mad.
Taking the top of the pen, turn to a sword, and I'm cutting down snakes. Been a long time, been a long road, but I'm kicking down Hades gates.
Right. Taking the top of the pen, turn to a sword, and I'm cutting down snakes. Been a long time, been a long road, but I'm kicking down Hades gates, right? But I'm kicking down Hades gates. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. But yeah, I'm cutting down snakes. So we still got the syllables. Like there's pieces of the rhymes here, right? So cutting down snakes, but I'm kicking down Hades gates. So we got the I here with kicking, and then we got the with button cutting. And then top, long, and long bend very well. So I just gave him that one, right? But the way the flow come together, there's nothing bracketed in a way that makes me feel like it's deliberately rhymed that way. So Hades gates, right? And then the next rhyme we're going to get is the E sound. So I like that. They can't escape. My shit came with the beam, right? And then he's gonna go off at the E sound. Sounds butter.
Well, Hades gaze, they can't escape. My shit came with the beam, wearing Hermes, but I knock off his wings. I got the juice, so they think I'm the thief. The lightning they poured it electrifying.
I like that. Yeah, that shit sounds fire, man. Really good, man. I like the flows, man. Yeah, so came with the beam, knock off his wings, think I'm a thief, electrifying. So that's a 4-syllable anchor, 4-syllable swing. In rhyme is beam, wings, thief, ing, and then we got some internals with the E sound still. But he's anchored that O sound, or that ah sound from earlier, right? And he's gonna use my shit came with the beam, wearing Hermes, but I knock off his wings. I got the juice, so they think I'm the thief, right? So he's going off of that ah sound really smoothly. Then the lightning stay ported, electrifying, right? So he's got lightning, and then he's got the E sound still dragging behind. So the way he ran this flow is just really good. It's just back and forth. It's really weird shit he's doing. Like it, man. But what's next? What's my man talking about?
What you say? Taking the top of the pen, turning with sword and I'm cutting down snakes. Been a long time, been a long road, but I'm kicking down Hades gates. They can't escape.
All right, so taking the top of the pen, turn it to a sword, because the pen is the sword, right? So taking the top of the pen, turn to a sword, and I'm cutting down snakes, right? And then the snake play is in affiliation to Hades, because Snake and Hades would be connected for being like the dark entity, right? Like the devil dude, right? So taking the top of the pen, turn to a sword, and I'm cutting down snakes, which is a Hades play. Been a long time, been a long road, but I'm kicking down Hades gates. They can't escape. There's a video game called Hades, and in this game, you are constantly trying to escape Hades, and you have to fight over and over and over in order until you get out of it, right? So been a long time, been a long road, but I'm kicking down Hades gates. So I thought that was a reference to the game Hades. They can't escape. My shit came with a beam, right? So they can't escape Hades 1, but also you can't escape the shot because it came with a beam.
They can't escape. My shit came with the beam, wearing Hermes, but I knock off his wings.
All right, so he's wearing Hermes, right? And Hermes is actually, because we had a Hades play, which brings in Greek mythologies, right? So Hermes is from Greek mythology. He's known to be the super fast guy with the wings on his shoes and his hat, right? So he's wearing Hermes, but I knock off his wings, right? And also wearing Hermes is in reference to West Side Gun, but I didn't see any pre-play for West Side Gun coming. So I just think he's just doing his own thing. So wearing Hermes, but I knock off his wings, right? So the wings are in affiliation to Hermes and then Hades. So I thought the Greek play was right in front of you. I got the juice, so they think I'm a thief. The lightning stay ported, electrifying. So I thought that the juice and the thief are affiliated with Hades, but he didn't say a god's name. And then the lightning stay ported, electrifying. I know that's reference to a plug, right? But also lightning I thought was in reference to Zeus, because we're still doing a quick little Greek theme. But I'm not entirely sure, okay? Because if he got the juice, then that would be a reference to Dionysus, a Greek god. All of these are reference to the game Hades, but I'm not entirely sure. Run it back!
Taking the top of the pen, turning with sword and I'm cutting down snakes. Been a long time, been a long road, but I'm kicking down Hades gates. They can't escape. My shit came with the beam, wearing Hermes, but I knock off his wings. I got the juice, so they think I'm the thief. The lightning they poured it, electrifying.
More commas, I can't stand it. More commas, I can't stand it. More commas, I can't stand it.
Electrifying. And look, the song ends like that. It ends exactly like how it ended, man. It's just like brick wall ending, no fade outs, you know? I really like what we have here, man. Percy's a dope track. This is like a new run for how he plays with these patterns and the timing. I really like what he's doing here, man. It's refreshing to see you like this, man. Yo, Google my man Jimmy Darko, son. Google Jimmy Darko if you can. Show my man some love. That's that dude. You that dude. Google Jimmy Darko. Much love to you guys. Thank you for watching, man. If you guys are interested in getting your song broken down in a similar fashion, hit up your boy lyricology101mail@gmail.com. Please add the mail. Or hit me up at lyricology101 on Instagram. I should probably be in more places, guys, but you know what it is. A lot of stuff happened with the channel. You know what it is. If you got a breakdown with me, it's coming. I believe No Set Mugen will be next. So we're going to knock his track out. And then I think I have another from King Frank. And I think we're good. There's some more after that. But I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate your time just for even enduring this or even trying to understand this rap shit, man. I love you guys for it, man. It's a blast for me. I always have fun doing these, man. Google Jimmy Darko. Much love to you guys. Have a good one. This has been Lyricology 101. I'm Andre Gaynor. And don't forget, we're the artists. Peace.